Cain is going to be pleased to hear how skillfully you've handled yourself. And a word from me to Cain goes a long way in the Brotherhood. These walls imprison many friends and members of the Brotherhood. Free them regardless of cost. Overwhelm the prison, but leave it standing.
Welcome back, Commander, to the Nod Mission 3. Today's mission features more base building.
Ready and waiting. You got it. Yes, sir.
Building.
And we have to go and capture basically a prison. Try not to pay too much attention to the angles from the last cutscene. The 90s were kind of weird that way.
Moving out. Waiting order. Reporting. Moving out. Unit acknowledged.
One thing you'll see me do whenever I start a mission is I usually try to scroll in all the 4 cardinal directions just so I can see what exactly are the limits of the map. While I may not be able to know exactly how large a map is, and I generally don't make the investment into the communications building just because the radar is kind of pointless at such a low resolution. But specifically, it just gives me an idea of what I'm playing with.
Yes, sir. Moving out. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Later maps might have larger bodies of water, or islands, or just canyons and valleys like we see here. And it kind of gives you a better idea as to, 1, how you want to structure your attack, and 2, how you should be building your base, or where you should be putting defenses. Another thing you might notice is every once in a while I put buildings or vehicles, infantry, etc. on hold. That's actually a holdover from later games because essentially your harvesters will put money into your account, so to speak, at a fixed rate.
Yes, sir.
In later games, if you actually halt all payments to build stuff, your harvesters actually deposit money faster. I don't believe that was ever patched into this game. If there is any sort of, delay on payment and gaining funds, I haven't really noticed it.
Building. Unit lost. Low power. Building.
Playing as the Nod, you'll know one thing. You'll have to get very comfortable with one fact, and that's that the AI is very good at handling grenadiers.
Unit ready.
Grenadiers are basically what it says on the tin. They're infantry, they carry grenades, and they have an explosive impact to their attacks. Now, against heavier vehicles, such as the Nod buggy, it's not so much of an issue. However, when it comes to infantry, the grenadiers are one of the best units in the game. They come at a severe drawback, however. Grenadiers who explode happen to have their grenades explode with them. So large clumps of grenadiers can be detrimental to human, quote-unquote, attacks or force composition.
Unable to comply, building in progress.
Another thing that really sucks for this mission is we are still unable to build vehicles. So any rocket bikes and Nod buggies that we lose is a permanent loss to our forces.
Building.
Ready and waiting. Got it.
Unit ready.
All said and done, and revealing a little bit of the goings-on behind the scenes, this isn't the first time I played this map. I try to get first takes as much as possible. However, with how long some maps are, it's just not economical to show you guys how failed attempts go. I'll show off a couple at certain points in one, this campaign, and two, throughout the LP. But in a basic sense,
Yes, sir.
I try to show off only the victorious parts.
Affirmative.
Now, right now I have a fairly large-sized army, and you'd think I'd be able to do something. I almost captured the base right there by getting the barracks, but unfortunately, as soon as an infantry pops out of a barracks, the AI is very good at stopping or having them auto-attack, and once that happened, I lost my engineer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got it.
Building.
Yep.
Unit lost.
Yes,
Unit
sir.
ready.
Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Thanks to the fact that I have two refineries going, I can collect a lot of funds and basically just try to steamroll this, but the AI also has a fairly deep bank account.
Reporting.
Unit lost. Unit lost.
Knowledge. Moving out. Right away, sir.
Building.
Reporting. Moving out.
The AI is very annoying, as we can see here. He's very persistent in going after engineers.
Unit lost. Building.
Unfortunately, that guy had just no chance.
Roger.
There goes $500.
Building.
Reporting.
I need to double check just to make sure, but I believe a harvester brings in 700 Tiberium per run.
Building in progress. Unable to comply. Building in progress.
Each refinery, as stated in its little text blurb, can only hold 1,000. So if you ever happen to stockpile money but don't have silos and your refineries are full, you lose that income.
Right away.
It just won't exist anymore.
Unit ready. Building.
Reporting. Waiting order.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. You got it. Right away, sir.
Unit
Yes,
ready.
waiting. Yes, not a problem. Reporting. Acknowledge.
So because I'm fighting an enemy force primarily composed of their own minigunners, as well as grenadiers, the rocket soldiers that are available to the Nod forces are practically useless.
Building.
It's way more
Unit
economical and just faster to rocket their harvester,
Yes, sir. Reporting.
but because hitting an enemy harvester turns basically the AI into a panic mode, I'm trying to filter out their units out of their base so I can then sneak in an engineer and capture their stuff.
Yes, sir.
It
Affirmative.
doesn't always work, but
Reporting.
Unit
better to try than
lost.
to just sit there forever.
Lost. Unit lost.
Reporting.
Unit lost. Unit lost.
Another thing that really sucks fighting grenadiers is that grenadiers have a longer range than minigunners. Minigunners have about the shortest range in the game.
Unable to comply.
I think the only thing shorter than them is the civilian, and even then I think it's the tie.
Building.
Not a problem. Yes, sir. Not a problem.
Unit ready.
Reporting. Yes, sir. Got it.
Now, one way to attack this, which would have been a little bit smarter on my part, would be to send one basically sacrificial unit in front of the rest of the group and basically draw the fire of the grenadier, rush everybody in, and then, Viola.
Captured.
Reporting. Moving out.
Building.
Ready and waiting.
But now that we have the barracks, it's basically over.
Right away, sir.
Ready.
Acknowledge. Right away, sir.
Building.
Ready. Waiting.
I believe if you look into the code, the AI is
Reporting. Affirmative.
incapable of building new structures. It'll just rebuild destroyed ones. So if you happen to capture a building, it oftentimes won't replace it. I could be wrong, but I remember that being the status quo a long time ago.
Let's get back to equal justice.
Unit
Ready.
ready.
Let's get back to equal
Building.
justice.
GDI building.
Increase
Captured.
fear and
Mission
suspicion.
accomplished.